All right, this is Andy Matthews with MeepleMountain.com. At Gen Con 50, we are here at the Restoration Games booth, and we've got a really hot announcement for you, along with some other games. Let's find out more.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm great.
So we have 3 games that we just brought out this year at Gen Con, and then we made a very big announcement just about an hour ago. So you're, I think, our first official post-announcement interview.
Love it.
So let's get to it. We have 3 games. First one is one we kickstarted back in March called Stop Thief, which is based on a 1979 game of the same name. It's a game of audio deduction, so it's a little bit like Spectre Ops or Scotland Yard or something like that, except that in the original game it's an electronic device that runs the thief in this case, and invisible on the board, but it makes sounds depending on which spaces they move into. So what we did is, the original game came with like this brick of a cell phone with 8-bit sounds and whatnot. So we just took that out of the box and put it into a free smartphone app, which you can download right now off most of the major app stores.
I already have it.
And there you go. So the other cool thing about the app is it lets us add features or update just by pushing stuff out to the app, but you can still play with all the stuff in your box. So because we hit so many stretch goals, we're offering a bunch of different modes of play that'll be coming out in the next few months. Solo, co-op, one versus all that stuff. So the other big change that we made is the original game was a strict roll and move. Roll that dice, move that many spaces. And the problem, of course, is if you're rolling 2s all night, you're in for a very long evening. So what we did is we took those, we took away the dice and we gave each investigator a unique movement deck with a hand of cards that tells how many spaces they can move when they play the card, but also includes some special abilities that they have. So each deck is asymmetrical and unique. So that's really sort of what we're all about in restoration games, is we find out what the cool part of the game is, the soul of the game, strip everything else away, and then build a really good game around it. So the cool thing about Stop Thief is that audio deduction and the sounds and all that stuff, and we kept that with the app, but then we updated it using modern technology, modern game design theory, and things like that. So the other 2 games that we're looking at, one is called Downforce. And that was designed by Wolfgang Kramer. Originally in 1986, he did a version called, or before that, the original version was Niki Lauda's Formel 1. And then about 8 different versions after that. In 1986, he did one called Top Race that was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, but he lost because his other game, El Grande, won that year. He got 2 games. That's how good a designer is. He got 2 games nominated one year. But it was a bunch of other versions after that, including Daytona 500, which is a game that Rob played with his kids a lot. And so it's just a really smooth game. It's been our very popular seller here at the booth this year. And basically it's a racing game, card-driven. So Rob has a funny quote about racing games. He said, most racing games take the world's fastest sport and make it into the world's slowest game.
That's true.
So our main goal was to sort of keep the quickness of the original game, that quick card play, and just get to the game really quickly. So there's 3 parts to the game. There's the auction of the cars, then you race around the track. There's betting lines on the track. When a car passes one, you make a secret bet. So the cool thing is you can bet on your own cars, but you can also bet on other people's cars.
Excellent.
And so I've seen plenty of people win the game, even if their cars that they own don't actually do all that well in the race, because you also subtract out the money that you bid to get the car.
Nice.
So if you bid wisely, bet wisely, you can win regardless of how your car finishes.
Oh, that's nice. So
that game's a lot of fun. The great thing about it, it's so versatile. We have a double-sided board, 2 totally different tracks that play differently. It plays 2 to 6 players. It's great at every player count. Plays in like 30, 40 minutes. The one big thing we added, in addition to giving it really cool components, we have these amazing car models for the pieces, is we added some player powers. So there's 6 different player powers in the game. Each player gets 1 power. And they're really, I like games with asymmetrical player powers that are really powerful.
Yeah.
Where everybody's always saying, oh, your power's too powerful, it's broken, but then everyone's saying about that everyone else is.
Everybody else is, yeah.
And so there's a little bit of that feel in the game. And then the last one is Indulgence, which originally is 1981 Dragon Master. And then before that, Coup d'etat. And then way back into, I think, even the 1800s, a game called Barbu, or at least early 1900s. And that's a trick-taking game. And the twist here is, so if you played Hearts, I think a lot of people have, the contract or the rule is don't take any hearts and don't take the Queen of Spades. So in this game and in Dragon Master, there's a rotating contract every hand. So it changes the rule for that hand. In Dragon Master, there were only 5, and you repeated them for each player. What we did is we took 20 different contracts. We rethemed the game to an Italian Renaissance, so the Medicis and the Sforzas and the Borgias and all that. And now one person is the ruler, and they're going to pick an edict that everyone has to follow. Don't take any Sforzas, don't take any 2s or 3s. And then, sorry.
That's all right.
Then after the ruler picks the edict, everyone has a chance to what is essentially shooting the moon, or as we call it, sinning. And the trick there is they have to do the exact opposite. So if the rule is don't take any Medicis, then when you sin, you're saying, I'm going to take all the Medicis.
Nice.
And to give you a little boost to do that, if you decide to sin, you get the Indulgence ring. It's an actual legit ring. It's a real ring that comes in the box, and you get to wear it and flash it at everybody. And then at some point during the hand, when you play a card, you play the Indulgence ring on top, and it turns it into a 10 of that suit.
Oh, cool.
So it's sort of like a trump.
Yeah.
And then basically you play until everyone's got 3 times around. Whoever has the most money wins, except in the advanced game, which is what everyone plays after they play the first game. Everyone starts the game with a papal bull, which is an edict that says we're going to follow all 3 of the edicts that are face up at the same time. So if you do that, you're getting lots of money from the other players if they're breaking those edicts. But if somebody's got a really killer hand, they decide to sin on your papal bull, they can pull off all 3 sins, which is pretty much take all the tricks, then they win the whole game outright.
Nice.
So it's a fun game.
Incentive.
One of my favorite, it's a really amazing component. It's a $20 game. Comes with an amazing ring. The cards are full tarot size, linen finish, original art on every card. It's got these amazing gems. It's got these really shiny coins. My favorite review of this game is I love this game. My only complaint is the coins are too shiny. So my favorite review of all time.
Make them a little bit more dull, right?
Yeah. So then, of course, our big announcement we just made an hour ago is our big game for next year.
Right.
We're going to be doing Fireball Island.
Clap, clap.
Yeah. So when we started, we announced officially at last year at Gen Con.
Right.
And we put up on our website at the very top, what game would you like us to see bring back? We did surveys, we got social media, we talked to people at conventions and things like that. Far and away, the #1 game by far, Fireball Island. And so I've literally been working on it almost a year to try and get the rights to do the game, but it finally clicked into place just a couple of months ago. And we've been working on it ever since. We started working on it even before then, when it looked like we might get the license.
Right.
And so now we do. Officially, we have a license to do an English language version of the game for US, Canada, Europe, and Australia.
Wow, that's great.
We're partnering with Longshore Manufacturing, which is a manufacturing and publisher in China. And they'll be doing the other language. So we'll come out in other versions in other languages and territories under their banner. We're hoping to get it done as soon as possible. Obviously, the sooner we can get it to the market, the sooner everybody's happy.
Exactly.
Them and us.
Is this going straight to production, or are you going to Kickstarter?
We are going to do a Kickstarter.
Okay.
We're trying to decide. We're either going to do it towards the end of the year or at the latest, I would say, in January.
Right.
And we're working to see it. We just want to make sure we can get enough development done that we can really show off what the ideas are in Kickstarter.
Awesome.
As I said, though, we've been working on it. It's funny. It's one of those games. If it's like everyone requests it goes for $300 on eBay.
Exactly.
But if you actually play it, the game itself is not all that great, frankly. It's really all about that kinetic chaos of the game and flinging marbles at your friends and things like that. And so that's what I talked about before, right? So we take the soul of the game, the best part, turn that up to 11, throw everything else away, and build a great game around it. So the island will be bigger, it will be taller. They will have more nasty contraptions on the island, more stuff moving around, more pieces flying everywhere, and in addition to that, a really cool game. And I know Rob, our Chief Restoration Officer, Rob Davio, is hard at work with JR and myself, working on sort of developing the mechanics so we can get a game that will be fun for kids and families, obviously, because we want to appeal to that. But like a lot of our games, we always try and make them appeal to modern gamers too, because the people who loved it as a child now are grown up and are gamers, and they want a good game too. Yeah. So we have to make sure
to be faithful to the original. So
yes.
That's going to be that line.
So we always have to thread that needle.
Absolutely.
But that's what we do. That's our whole reason for doing this.
Well, thank you. That's
well,
really
I
awesome.
appreciate it because, it's funny. I've had so many people come up to me at this convention and say, you know what, I really appreciate what you're doing, which is a weird thing to say to a publisher. And it really just gets me right in the feels. I love it. It's so rewarding for us to be able to do that. to work on these games and bring back all these great memories for people and have them create new memories with their new families and friends. So it's great.
Well, cool. Well, thank you very much for your time, and can't wait to find out more.
Awesome.
Right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will just add one last thing. Maybe I jumped the gun here. On the website, we have a new page. We just uploaded it for Fireball Island. We're running a contest. So we have some postcards. We actually have some if you're at Gen Con. We had some at the booth here. But we also, you can just download them off the website. Take a picture of yourself with the postcard, hopefully doing something funny with it, and tag it Fireball Island. And we're going to draw one person every month till the end of the year to win a copy of the game.
Sweet.
So get to it.
Well, that's exciting. You heard it here. All right. This is Andy Matthews with MeepleMountain.com at the Restoration Games booth. For more information about all the games we talked about, check the description below.